these are very, very tomorrow focused ads. They're not asking you to go and do something right now. There's a place for that. In every good marketing plan, it should have a very strong focus on your future customers because there are a lot more of them that will buy than there are that are buying right now. Welcome to the Maven Marketing Podcast. Today is Maven Monday. My name is Caleb Agee, and I'm here with Kyle DeVries. We haven't done an episode together yet.
We haven't. I'm
we?
excited.
This is very exciting. We are going to have a little bit of fun today, and we have it's a little bit outside our normal maybe teaching type of episode. There are lessons to be found inside of this, but I think we're going to just share. Really, what we're going to share is some TV campaigns that we're really loving. And so, Kyle, tell us some things about what makes great campaigns.
Yeah, I think campaigns, as opposed to just random stray ads here and there, campaigns kind of tell a story over the course of maybe months or even years, where it's like the same characters, the same people, kind of same style or music. They're drawing parallels between a lot of different commercials that you might see over time.
Yeah. I think another good thing about a campaign is usually you want to watch them. They're entertaining. Like a great campaign is exciting. It's entertaining. You're like telling your friends about it. It creates a buzz. There's this like, hey, let's look this up. And so I think that's really good, really good measure of a campaign.
For sure. And one thing I think we'll see in the couple of these campaigns we're going to watch for sure is that they don't try to explain all of their products. They don't try to tell you too much. They just tell you exactly enough to kind of get you wondering, to make you want to learn more. They don't tell you too much. They kind of keep the secret there, let you figure it out yourself. Yeah.
And one other thing we found that we knew already, but it was funny because we were talking about a few of these campaigns in the office here, and some people loved some of them and some people did not love, whatever. I don't know how strong maybe it wasn't hate, but it was kind of like,
they just thought they weren't that special.
Yeah. I think a great campaign, a great ad of any kind will create a strong reaction. And so I think that's a little bit of the difference between some of these ads, because I think they're speaking to a very clear person. And that's what I think all of these are doing really, really well. So without further ado, we're going to play them. So if you're audio only, you'll get to hear the dialogue. We're going to play them and then we're going to talk about them. And each of these is a campaign. So we've actually got two ads to share. So we're going to talk in the middle of it, but let's go with the first one right now.
Why'd I say I'd man the grill? I don't man things. Just find the knob that makes the hot fire come out. Here's the plan. I need burgers, buns. Great. Look at me go. I'm a grilling machine.
How's it going?
Literally about 3 more minutes.
You gotta turn it on.
5 minutes. Go take a dip, dude. Excited to see people bite into my creations.
Okay, so in case you couldn't hear his voice or know, that was Michael Cera. And he just has a character already.
It's kind of goofy, kind of high-pitched voice.
Yeah. This is an Uber Eats ad, and actually, one thing we'll put on the con side of this campaign is they rely a lot on visuals. So if you were just listening to the audio there, you did not hear what this ad was for. And so we're reviewing these campaigns in their wholeness, right? But I loved getting to hear his innermost thoughts.
Yeah.
That was such a powerful thing.
For sure. Yeah. I think honestly, maybe the thing they nailed the most about this commercial is the casting of Michael Cera. I think he's so perfect for this kind of like person that's a little too aware of what's going on. And honestly, I'll take one for the team. That's totally me at social gatherings and stuff, like a little bit of that awkward, like inner monologue going on. Like, how in the world did I end up as the person in charge of making the burgers? That, I'm like trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. That's super relatable for us introverts at social gatherings and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I love the evocative language and the sounds that they had.
Yeah.
Where's the button that makes the hot fire come out?
Yeah.
So instead of saying that turns the grill on, they have unusual ways of saying things that you would normally hear.
Right.
And I think that's just such good script writing.
Yeah.
And so,
memorable.
So if you're writing ads, look for unusual ways to say something that's really usual. That's a really common trick or hack, you can find a different way to say something that's very common. And so another thing I noticed was just the offensive squishing sound.
Oh God.
When he pushes on the burger.
It's so offensive.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah.
And so this was one of, I think, a few ads in a series. So we're going to play the second one right now.
This is fun. Huh, getting in the pool. It's a weird move. Oh no, this is becoming a real trend here. I need food. Can't swim while I'm eating. The 30-minute rule. Genius. Tiny bites appear to be savoring. The chip will keep you dry. That's okay, just say something smart and awesome. I love this house. I hate this house. Okay, just hang on to the taco. All right, whatever.
All right, whatever. I think in case you haven't seen this ad before, he's standing at the edge of the pool. A bunch of people start getting in, and his whole goal is to hold on to food because if you're eating, you don't have to get in the pool. And which, if I were at a pool party, I'd probably be doing that too.
100%.
Unless my kids were there, and then I'd have to get in the pool. But
yeah.
Otherwise, try to stay out of the pool, right? One thing, so now we're kind of assessing the campaign as a whole, right? The threads that go between each of the ads. So there's definitely a style. Obviously, the character is the same. Something I noticed was the little ding, which I kind of feel like it's like a Pavlov situation there.
Yeah.
But as soon as the Uber Eats brings the food, it just kind of appears, which is another magical thing.
Yeah.
They just make it appear. If you want to show that you have fast service, fast delivery, whatever, make your people just ping appear, but they have a little dinger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that was, like I referenced earlier, like probably the perfect example of not over explaining, but still showing what Uber Eats can do. You can get tacos, you can get pizza, you can get chips and guacamole. There were like all these different products that were displayed in 30-second commercial, but like no one said the word pizza, no one said the word chips and guacamole, that type of stuff. So they just kind of put those things in your mind, let you know like this is what we have this kind of versatility in our products without having to over explain it.
Yeah. He also said, oh, the 30-minute rule, which instantly gets you thinking like, well, they have a 30-minute rule. What's that? You know what I'm saying? And I think making statements sometimes that leave them with a few more questions than you actually answer is a beautiful thing. You got to be careful with that. You don't want to just like open with questions, but evocative statements that you're like, what are you talking about? That changes everything. So that is the Uber Eats campaign. We thought that was really funny, really strong. That's a brand new one. They're running on TV right now. A lot of ads you're going to see, I assume, right now you'll be seeing during football season, especially this next campaign. So we're going to get it going.
On a hyped up Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
All aboard the hype train! We're going all the way! Woo!
I heard this hype train runs an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
And the hopes of overly optimistic fans.
Hey guys, check out my new tattoo.
We're so winning it all!
Even the national media agrees.
And they're never wrong about anything.
Oh, wait.
Our quarterback got injured in practice.
Okay, everyone off the hype train.
Well, that didn't last long.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Okay. So this one cracks me up because it is every team's journey.
Yes.
Every year. If you didn't know this, Kyle's a bit of a football nerd. He has
you could say that.
Just a bit. He has a podcast literally talking about a college football team. He is, he came in last year and was like, with fantasy football, I play at kind of like a professional level and drove in a new car because he won that year. Yeah. So
I know a thing or two about football for sure. I watch a lot of football Saturdays and Sundays for sure. So I've seen this commercial. I've seen this campaign a lot. And I love that it kind of pokes fun at fan bases. It pokes fun at the national media. It's kind of just like making these subtle jabs at everybody, like in kind of a friendly way. And it's exactly how it goes. Everybody thinks their team is the best, like before they play a game. And then they watch their team and they're like, okay, maybe I was getting a little too excited.
Mm-hmm.
Or in this case, maybe the starting quarterback gets hurt and it's like the whole season is
over.
It's over, game over. So I love just like kind of bringing fun to this, like the personification of this concept of the hype train. Like that's not actually something that exists, but they created like the hype train and I brought it to life in such a funny way.
Yeah, my favorite line is the guy with the squeaky voice at the end. He's like, well, that didn't last long.
Yeah.
Just gets me every time.
Yeah. I love the abruptness too, like when they pull the brake and everybody like
It just,
physically
yes,
jolts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, every fan has been on this journey. If you're actually a diehard fan, you're like, this is our year. We're going all the way. And then something happens. You're like, oh, we actually suck this year.
Yeah.
So
we've all been there.
That is one ad. Here's another ad. This Fansville campaign has been running. Dr. Pepper's calling this season 7. So they actually kind of are making it. I said like a TV show. They are making it like a TV show.
Yeah. And I think the hype train specific ad is actually like a little bit outside of like what the commercials are normally like. They're normally like really dramatic, like an actual kind of like soap opera
drama
like,
type
very
of
dramatic
show.
TV show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here is a second one in this campaign.
On a Longing, Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, what are you doing here? Texting another conference now.
Yeah, but it's like on the other side of the country. It's really, really far.
But you're not even on our schedule this season.
Maybe we can meet you in the playoffs.
That's crazy talk.
You know what else is crazy? Getting all that Dr. Pepper flavor with 0 sugar.
But Dr. Pepper doesn't have a questionable secondary like Tech does.
Here, catch!
And that's why you're a mascot.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Okay, so at the end, the kind of the punchline is says, here, catch, and he throws it. She's talking to him down from a window, right? And then he's holding up Dr. Pepper. He's even got the old school jukebox and like all the thing. It's like it's this love story that they're having. And he throws her the Dr. Pepper and he throws it through the window next to her. I think they're in like a dorm building and he just totally misses it. Yeah, that connection is so strong. There's so many insider language in there. Tell me about what I'm missing.
Yeah, a lot of insider language for college football fans, especially kind of talking about conference realignment. That might be kind of a fancy word if you don't know what that is, but there's just a lot of teams that are changing conferences in college football and in actual college football. And you've got teams in California that are going to be in conferences that are called like the Atlantic Coast Conference and stuff like that. So obviously, you know, the geolocation stuff is totally out the window in actual college football. So that's kind of showing this breakup of these two teams. Like they're representing two teams that used to be in the same conference, but now they're not anymore. And so they're kind of showing that breakup. Yeah.
So over dramatization of something that is maybe not that big of a deal is another mechanism that you can use. It's just taking something small and blowing it up to 1 million.
Yeah.
That is another way we call it is magical thinking. So you can also you can be really dramatic with a normal thing, and you can do it within the bounds of the earth and like normal human interactions. But then you can also be magical and go completely outside the bounds and be ridiculous. Like, this is unbelievable. Your product doesn't actually do this for me. And so there's a couple different ways that you can do that you just blow something up, something seemingly small, and make it spectacular. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're taking a breakup of two teams that aren't going to play together, and they're like, oh, I'm going to miss you, you know?
And they're even like taking this even a step further where they're introducing the like no sugar product, Dr. Pepper product. And it's like those two people, like I think I've seen 2 or 3 different variations of no sugar Dr. Pepper commercials that those two specific people are in. So they're taking that storytelling, those characters even a step further and kind of giving them that very specific storyline within the greater campaign.
Yeah. Dr. Pepper obviously has a massive ad budget, and they're obviously, all of these campaigns that we're talking about today have massive ad budgets, which means their production has high production dollar value. But I think what Dr. Pepper does really well is they have the diversity of a lot of ads running at the same time. So you actually just don't know which one you're going to get at a certain time. And so running that multiple traffic keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
If you're watching a football game, it feels like sometimes you end up with the same ad like during every commercial break or
Right.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's good when they can vary it for you so you're not
Mm-hmm.
bored, like, oh, it's that same ad I
Yeah.
just saw.
Yeah. And they understand exactly who they're talking to also, because I have never seen a Fansville commercial. I think I only see them on Saturdays. So they know exactly the college football crowd
Yes.
they're talking to. So
Yeah.
they do that really well.
Yes. So that is the Dr. Pepper one. The last thing they do really well is they work in their name in a way that's not annoyingly obvious. They work it into the dialogue, like, but with this Dr. Pepper, and
It's like part of the story.
It's part of the story, and it works.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, I don't know, annoying plugs. Get Dr. Pepper at the store, And so very subtle, very strong. All right, this last campaign is probably the favorite in the office, I think, and you'll see why here in a second.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no. I can help new homeowners not become their parents.
Kiana.
Nope.
Koe Noah.
No. Joaquin. No. It just takes practice. Give it a shot. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a constant battle. We're going to open a PDF. Who's next?
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
No fussin', no cussin', and no
That that campaign is so good. Progressive
Classic.
has actually a few campaigns running always.
Yeah.
So we picked this one. Obviously the more well-known one is actually like Flo and that crew. She's actually got some like
Full
secondary
crew.
characters
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
And we chose this one because this campaign is growing. It's just a few, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, I think. And it's continuing to grow. But this speaks to a fear. So we always talk about needs, pains, hopes, and fears. This speaks to, in a funny way, it pokes at a fear that people of our generation have, right? Which is becoming like your parents. And as, we're both dads, as you become a dad, you start to catch yourself saying and doing things that you're like, oh, okay,
Oh, yeah.
that's
that grunt when the guy was sitting down. Oh yeah,
Just-
I've noticed that. Yeah, I'm like, oh wow, I shouldn't have been that relieved to just sit down. Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't seen this, they're all dressed up in clothes that look like their dads would have worn in the 90s.
Yeah.
And so they're wearing like khakis with a shirt tucked in and like the belt out and little jogging suits and stuff like it's so funny. A funny story I have to share. I will keep the guilty party nameless here, but somebody in our office, I'll even add somebody who's been on this podcast. We were at a restaurant at a client lunch one time, and this called it out. They tried to order quinoa. They tried to order quinoa. And they said, I don't remember how exactly they pronounced it, but it was pretty much like, I'll have the quinoa or something like that. And the waitress was like, quinoa? And they were like, no, quinoa. And she's like, no, that's not what it, they doubled down on it.
Wow.
They were like, this is how it's said. And so we now, I think that was several years ago. That is still,
that's amazing.
It's real life. And then this ad came out maybe a couple years later. We're like, there it is.
Yep.
So
got called out.
Yeah, got called out. And so we all do this. We have these cheesy signs that we hang around the office. We have, or like our house, we have all these little things that we become like our parents. But this campaign, they tie it in because you understand that Progressive helps you save money on, your car insurance. This is just such a beautiful way to button it up because they're a part of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else before we jump to the next one?
No, I think you
talk
set it
about
up really
the campaign. Okay. This is the one they are running right now.
Oh, look at that jet stream.
Weather. Oh boy.
Yep, they're calling it an atmospheric river. It is coming down.
Oh, flood warning Louisiana.
Are they obsessed? Oh yeah.
The stuff they do on the green screen, unbelievable.
They said 10% chance of rain. Seems more like 40% to me.
Nope.
It has nothing to do with the dew point.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
What are those, cumulus clouds?
How many more people?
What are those cumulus clouds?
Yeah, we all become meteorologists now with all the tools that we have or at our disposal, or at least we think we are.
Yeah. Is what in order of your morning, is the weather a part of your first pickup?
It is sometimes, or sometimes I'll just look at the week ahead or something. But definitely, I'm usually interested. Yeah.
Yeah. That's obviously when you get dressed in the morning, you're like, what's it going to be like?
You got to know, especially this time of year. You don't know if it's going to be hot or cold.
The stuff they do with the green screens, amazing.
That's a great line.
So these ads, these campaigns, really, I should say, because individual ads can speak to one thing, but an entire campaign, and most of these are just 2 points along a big path that they've painted as with their agencies that they've built out. A real campaign is not just random ads that kind of maybe sound the same or go together or have the same voice or the same music. They're like, it's like, no, this is the lane we are in. And there are very distinct walls that you put up around those campaigns that you feel like you can drive in. And even the script writer and the designer and all those people know exactly what's going on.
Exactly. There's those parameters that you're working from every time, and you're not having to think of an entirely new concept that brings a new angle every time or anything like that. You're kind of just using the branding and the storytelling that you've already established. Yeah.
And the reason for all of that, in case it's not clear, is you are trying to build equity and a memorable brand. We call this tomorrow customer marketing. And so when we're talking to a tomorrow customer, these are all very, 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 very tomorrow customer marketing. These are all like, I don't know when you're going to change insurance, but you probably will sometime in your life, and we're going to be waiting for you.
It's almost like not even an ad. It's just like 30 seconds of entertainment.
You will buy a soft drink probably in the next week. We're going to be in consideration, and so these are very, very tomorrow focused ads. They're not asking you to go and do something right now. And so there's a place for that in every good marketing plan. It should have a very strong focus on your future customers, because there are a lot more of them that will buy than there are that are buying right now.
Right.
And so you want to make sure you build this campaign and then fill that tomorrow customer bucket. You are constantly filling it up. But if you have diverging messages or diverging ads, or your campaign seems to change every 6 months or every ad you do, what you're actually doing is you're not adding to the bucket you've created of the equity, where you're constantly adding to the Fanville bucket that you've created. What you're doing is you're making a new one each and every time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I have a new experience with this brand. Oh, I have another new experience with this brand. And so your goal is to bring it all together and constantly add to the same feelings, the same experience, the same thoughts that provoke every time they see your brand, your logo, all that good stuff.
Right. Yeah, you kind of want that exponential, that effect of those things building on each other that creates memory and kind of a likeness factor in people's minds. So whenever they do become a Today customer for whatever service, they're clicking on your Google ad, they're calling your number when they see it because they already know about you.
Exactly. So this by no means was like an exhaustive, these are the best ads running right now. We just said these are some that we're loving right now. And not just ads, but we wanted to focus on the campaign aspect of this, because I think that is a big thing we're seeing a lot in local marketing, is random acts of advertising.
Yes.
Where you are just like, well, we need a new TV ad. What should it be? That's the wrong question to ask. What's the holistic picture that we're trying to do? We talked about this even with the agency of record. Megan and I talked about this last week, just making sure that somebody's holding that together and saying, this is how this all works together. There's a thread that weaves through it all.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't be asking, what should our billboard say? What should our Facebook ad say? There should be a very specific voice. So want to encourage you, pay attention to that. Think about that. If you have an amazing campaign that you've seen, we want to hear about it. Tag us in the socials for that. Email us at MavenMonday@frankandmaven.com. Do you have anything else to add here?
No, this is fun. This is a blast.
This is fun. We do this all the time. And so we thought we'd just let you behind the curtain, because we toss around, we're students of the art of marketing. And so we have to study great marketing and say, is this good? Why is it good?
Working?
What's working? What's not working? And so we thought we'd just kind of let you inside our brains and the conversation, the dialogue that happens in these halls. So if you like this, hit subscribe. share it with your friend, text it to a marketer who loves to grow businesses. And you can send all your questions to MavenMonday at frankandmaven.com. We'll be here every single Monday. That includes next Monday, in case you didn't know. Answering your marketing and advertising questions, because marketers who can't teach you why.
Or just a fancy lie.
See you next time.